going on, guys? Nick Lesagor here.
Brandon Delakia.
Exit 12.
Homebrew.
In the house.
Yep.
In the brewery of Exit 12 Homebrew. We're in the middle of doing some catch up on things, changing out washers on keg posts, and setting up the anvil with some pretty sweet effing mods.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's just what we do. And in the midst of doing all of those things, I said, why don't we do a homebrew review? Because we have a bunch of homebrews in the fridge, and we need to do some reviews. So that's what we're going to do.
We're reviewing Homebrew.
That's right. Big shout out to the Exit 12 Craft Beer and Homebrew Lifestyle podcast, which you can listen to on your favorite podcast provider.
Oh, yeah.
And the beer we have today is from none other than Dennis Pinn out of Woodshed Brewing.
Yeah, boom.
Kabbalah bang. Killing the game. This beer is called Ghosts of BLI. It's a 4% dark mild. Would you like to crack into that, Brandon?
Oh, yeah.
And I'll just explain what a dark mild is quickly. Give you a quick little rundown. A dark mild...
I'm going off camera to do this so I get a nice pour.
A dark mild is a beer that's supposed to have low ABV, low hop characteristic, and you're really supposed to get the malts. The malts are the star of the show in this beer, so there should be some level of bitterness, but not too much, and you should get some caramel, some toffee, some licorice. It's an English style, which makes sense because Dennis is all about his Irish heritage. So we are going to try this beer. I'm very excited. It's 4%, something easy for us on a casual...
I'm off frame. Bam. In frame.
Something easy drinking for a casual Sunday fun day. So let's take a look at it. Ooh, very nice. Dennis, this is nice.
Yeah, it's brown, but it's definitely got that lightish hues coming out. It sort of goes real light to progressively darker as you get up on the glass. Good lacing. Small, like a quarter finger head, but that's about right for style.
Yeah. Holding it up, I get some ruby hues.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Get some of them ruby hues. You understand, Dennis? You understand, bud? Some nice red ruby hues.
What is wrong with you? He gets keywords in his thing. If you've watched enough of these, you know there's a few of them, and now Ruby Hues is in his vocabulary.
That's the name of our next beer, a dark mild called Ruby Hues. There's some nice like mahogany as well.
Yeah,
like a
rich mahogany.
Honestly, I mean, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It's not often that you get interesting colors out of homebrews. You know, it's usually you're kind of trying to pull out colors a lot of times.
Well, especially with a darker beer. Some people tend to go really, really dark with it and just sort of end up with a really dark brown, almost completely turbid. And at least this has some nice hues in there.
Yeah,
some ruby hues, if you will.
Some nice ruby hues. It's got a reasonable amount of clarity. You know, I put my finger, taking a look at it. I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, but it's got a reasonable amount of clarity, you know, closer down on the glass.
Sure.
So let's get as I like to say, let's get a little snifferooski on this thing.
Let's do that. All right.
Wow.
So the first thing I'm getting is a nice yeast characteristic. It's got a little bit of that farmhouse yeast going on.
Really nice caramel, really like toffee-like. I mean, this is truly like a toffee-like character.
Yeah, very sweet. It's got a nice malt sweetness to it.
That yeast really shines, like you said.
Yeah, which you don't usually get for a low ABV beer. Usually you can't really pull out those malt characters, that really rich sweet malt. But I'm pulling it out on this.
I mean, for a lower ABV, it smells like there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
I can understand a slight aspect of licorice, very, very light though.
Maybe.
And I probably wouldn't have gotten it if I didn't read the description.
No, yeah. Now that you say it, I definitely get a small slight on the back end, like a black licorice type deal. But it's nothing. It's not really.
I also get fall essence.
You get fall essence.
It's a fall essence.
Is that like a Yankee candle?
Yeah. It's like in the middle of New England fall. You're driving on your way to a Patriots game, circa 2011. They're about to beat the bag out of the Buffalo Bills. You're getting ready. You're excited to watch that game, and you've got the windows down. Mm-hmm. It's like, 55 degrees, 50 degrees. There's a slight chill in the air.
Yeah, and you couldn't, and Dennis can't understand because he's in Buffalo, and if he did that outside, he would just get the smell of raw sewage and disappointment.
That's right, but, and playoff exits.
Yeah.
So speaking of which,
what's this game? This just turned into a roast of Dennis.
These are par for the course with these reviews. Cheers, buddy. Thank you so much for the beer. I'm excited to try this.
All right, let's do this.
L'chaim.
Yeah. Slancha.
Slancha. Oh, yeah. Very nice. Roasty for sure.
Yep.
Huge roasty character, and I understand how, because at first when I took a sip, I go, this has like a firewood characteristic, like almost smoked.
Maybe. Yeah, okay.
But it's not. It's more of a roasty. There's a difference. Roasty is a little bit less dense, and it's not so earthy. A roasty characteristic is, and I mean roasty like acorn roasty, almost like nut roasty.
Yeah,
nuts.
In the middle there is this little bit of firewood or smoke to it. Right up front, it's got a nice little malt sweetness to it. Definitely some caramel. Then it has, at the end, it really smooths out with this nice yeast, sort of characteristic at the end, which I really enjoy. And it's surprisingly, for this style, carbed a decent amount.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting a low carb. But, yeah.
Oh, wow. This is nice. It is a little aqueous. It just in that, and I don't know if that's part of the style, like a little watery. And I don't know if that's part of the style.
It's watery.
What?
You're using words that nobody gets here. Listen,
I'm about that beer review description life. You understand?
You see, before these, he's sitting there on his phone with Mr. Thesaurus. I can't say that word.
Well,
God damn it.
Thesaurus.
God damn it.
But this is fantastic. It's got those caramel malts. The nose presents a little bit stronger than the flavor. Excuse me. It's definitely carbonated. But that would make a lot of sense because it's 4% ABV. You still do pack, the flavor does pack quite a punch, which is nice.
Yeah, it is definitely got a lot of complexity to it, which is very tough to get on a low ABV beer. You can't usually get those like 3 distinct layers, and I'm really getting a malt sweetness, then that sort of little roasty firewood, but it doesn't end with that kind of tinge you get with the smoked beers, and then it smooths out with this really cool yeast characteristic that that I really like. It's playing really nice.
Brandon's probably right about the end hit being the yeast characteristic. I also get a minor level of bitterness, which is for the style. That's to style. But it is that yeast character too, that kind of farmhousey yeast character. Yeah. This is fantastic, buddy. Thank you so much. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. It is going down a lot quicker than I thought it would. And it's not that I'm not an English style fan. We don't drink much of them.
No,
We're very
really.
heavy on New England IPAs, the occasional stout. I'm a big fan of the carbonation level. I like a higher carbonation in my dark beers, whereas Brandon is probably a little bit on the lower end.
Yeah, this has been a long debate between us where he really loves those high carb stouts. And I think that, usually it plays better when it's a low carb. For this style beer, the high carb plays well because it gives you that extra characteristic that you might not get because it's a lower ABV beer.
And it helps, in my opinion, it might even help bring up those malts a little bit.
Yep, I can see that.
Fantastic beer, Dennis. This is I'm gonna thoroughly enjoy this. Cheers so much, Slanja.
Cheers,
gents.
Slanja,
gents. You understand? Appreciate it, Dennis. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.